Yo, it's Batman Mo back with media. All praise be the Most High. Now, look, let's talk about brain hemisphere synchronization. And in simple words, this is basically bringing a wholeness to your aura field. Now, the only way to conquer the body is to conquer the mind. And by conquer, I don't mean take over or control it. I mean balance. Now, let's teach you about how to balance both sides of both hemispheres of your body and your brain. But we're gonna do the brain today. We're gonna talk about the body later, probably. But it's the same thing, because if you get the brain, or you get the mind, you get the body, right? Because the mind comes first, because everything comes from the mind. Because the mind is what produces the electromagnetic field. Now, as y'all can see here, that the right side is going to be feminine always, even though it's over here, and the left side is always going to be masculine, and the left side is always going to be dealing with logical, going to be dealing with very practical thinking and analytical skills on how the pathways of things are very straight line. Versus the yin, the female, is basically dealing with, or the feminine nature is dealing with the right brain functions that control your visualization, your colors, deal with your imagination, deal with your spatial awareness, different things like that, talking about all of these different things that deal with creativity, right? So you're talking about taking the both, which is and let me just give y'all an example real quick. Is basically like saying, right, let's take a musician, right? So if we take a musician, which most musicians use both sides, everybody uses both sides of the brain, but most musicians normally use both simultaneously if they're very experienced. But what I'm saying is, when you're talking about an experienced musician or somebody who already knows the structure of music, they tend to use more of the left side of the brain, while the one that is inexperienced will use more of the right side of the brain, using its creativity. Now, while the best musician will learn to structure the music based off of both the left and the right side of the brain, utilizing both of the awareness of analytical ability and logical sense of how to structure music, as well as using the creativity and the openness of the mind to be able to expand, to think of these creative different thoughts, and able to combine those together, this synchronization of the mind, to be able to produce some of the best sounds you've ever heard, right? And this is what ultimately we do. And you know, I make music, I rap, so this is something that I do kind of all the time, you feel me? If you ever heard my music, it's not like everybody else, but that's because I embody my creativity, using right brain, and as well as I use logic or order in order to learn how to structure a song properly so it don't sound messy. Feel what I'm saying? So it's not everywhere. So now you're talking about how pretty much if you're talking about the brain, so pretty much if you're talking about the brain, right, you're talking about two functions that control these areas. Is the hippocampus, which controls, you talking about stores and retrieves memories, while the amygdala is what processes emotions. So how these two work together in tandem, even though you could say they're different sides of the brain, but they still work together in tandem. So every side, no matter what you do, the brain is going to work with the other side of the brain. But we're talking about being able to sync it up to where it works the most efficiently. Like, let me give you an example. Like the right side of the brain is going to control the left side, while the left side of the brain is going to control the right side of your body as they cross. This is why they always do this in Egypt. But as they cross, because you're talking about how the eyes, you go inside the eyes, inside the whatever it's called, I forgot. They actually cross in vision, and you're talking about how it shows you a certain angle of vision depending upon how they cross. And this is why your eyes can cross and do different things. And it seemed like, you know what I'm saying, anybody that get into higher states of meditation, they know how their eyes can cross and do some crazy shit. When you're talking about this, the eyes start when you go into that lower state. But we're gonna talk about that. So let's keep going so we can talk about that. Now I'm gonna make this very easy for y'all to really get. What you're gonna do is, if you want to learn how to sync your brain, you want to take a certain hertz frequency, which meaning you can take at least you could take, this one has 100 hertz and 108 hertz, but you can do any hertz between any ranges depending on what you're trying to do. But let's say that you're taking let's say you take 50 hertz, and then you take 58 hertz. You feel what I'm saying? whatever. What you're ultimately trying to do is create this this resonance in the frequency by having the small gap of difference between the hertz range, and automatically your brain will start to adjust to this. So you're going to take these theta waves, and basically, because theta waves is talking about 4 to 8 hertz, so you're talking about the difference between 8 hertz so if it's 50 and 58 hertz, or 100 and 108 hertz, you're going to take, or 4 to 8, it could be 100 and 104 hertz, it don't matter. But you're getting these two different tones or two different frequencies to play in the mind at the same time, you know what I'm saying, but not in the same place. And as they do this will have a resonance in the middle of the field, and this middle place will be the focal point, or you're talking about bringing this balance to the whole system. This is how anything is created in the universe. I ain't gonna tell y'all too much, feel me? But obviously there's positive and negative electromagnetic charges and all that shit. We can go complicated with it, but this is very basic on how you understand how the mind can create different aspects of things based off of frequency alone. So you doing this by syncing this left and right hemisphere, and you're going into the theta state, or you're going into, depending on what state you're going to, but theta is pretty much one to get you relaxed, a very good relaxed state. Then you could change it to gamma or whatever one you want, if you want to, have more, higher knowledge and different things like that. But this is just to teach you that if I can do this, now I can take the brain and I can make my brain more advanced. And then by making my brain more advanced or in sync, I can have my mind more in sync. But really it's the opposite way around, because you're really putting your mind in sync, which will make your brain in sync. And so this mind, now that it is in sync, I am able to, have higher cognitive functioning. I am able to have clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, all these different abilities that come with extrasensory perception beyond the physical and the senses of the physical. Now, if y'all want a whole video on these different types of meditations, I'm probably gonna do one for y'all. I'm gonna do one for y'all anyways, because I know y'all want to see that. But before I even do that, I'm gonna teach y'all basically guided meditations is like saying it's a hypnosis meditation. Basically, you're going to suppress the logical side, which is going to be left brain, and you are going to, or the logical thinking mind, and you're going to focus on the guide's vibration of words being spoke, right? So as the speaker speaks, it causes a vibration, causing the right brain to activate stronger by producing similar patterns or brain waves in the electromagnetic field. And so basically, as long as you listen to this and you shut down the analytical part of your brain, you will start to have this resonance in the field, and this resonance will give you these intuitive messages, these downloads of mental images, and pretty much whatever you're trying to focus on. This is guided meditation, growing from a simple thought into a perceivable state of being where you can see many different planes in the mind's eye. Simple, right? So this is basically really stages of enlightenment, if you want me to be honest with you. I'm gonna give y'all one more meditation, and then I'm gonna probably give y'all another video about this topic. You feel me? I know it's getting a little long, but listen. So we all know we have the 7 chakras, which is your spinning wheels of energy, which relate to the spirals of energy. You're talking about electromagnetic energy in the body. That not just in the body, but in your spiritual temple as well, that courses throughout the physical and spiritual realms. Now, what you need to understand is that these chakras, when we're talking about transcendental meditations, the same thing as Christ consciousness. It's the same thing as Buddha meditating until he achieved enlightenment. It's all the same thing. You're talking about being able to raise this spinal fluid or this Christos oil up the spine, or talking about raising this energy up the spinal column to be able to meet the mind and brain, or a certain part of the brain, and produce certain chemicals in the brain and certain energy in the brain to ultimately shoot your consciousness past the physical body. And this is what transcendental meditation is doing. So this is what you're talking about. If you practice working on chakra work, this is what you're doing anyways. And this is the eventual state you'll get anyways, because you're balancing all of your sensors through the body and through the mind. You feel what I'm saying? Through the physical and the spiritual. But yeah, it's Bam Bam Mo. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe. I got more coming for y'all. If y'all got anything y'all want topics you want me to talk about, hey, send it to me.